I wasn't even going to post on this, and then I saw some clips that changed my mind, and I'll show you those in a moment. But first, Elon Musk yesterday, along with his son, Little X, held a press conference in the Oval Office to discuss what Doge is doing, all while Donald Trump watched on silently from his cuck chair. And in the aftermath, one of Elon's fanboys shared this tweet that Elon reposted. It says, "History repeats itself," and it shows two images. The first image is a pretty iconic image of JFK Jr. playing underneath his dad's desk while he worked in the Oval Office. And the second is Little X seemingly bored out of his mind, crawling around on the floor while Donald Trump pontificates about what he liked watching from said cuck chair. But I can point out at least one glaring difference between these two situations. JFK Jr., as I recall, never had criticisms of his father while the press was there. Little X, on the other hand, has a lot to say.
Whoever convinced Elon Musk to speak at that press conference today is trying to save America. Every day that he goes after these departments, every day that he is shutting down these agencies, it is getting harder and harder to justify it or explain how this is helping the country.
I have a 4 and a 5-year-old. Elon Musk's son is 4 years old. At this age, children are like sponges and they behave like parrots. They repeat everything they hear and they always use it in the appropriate context.
Hey fam, blessed to here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I am hoping that from wherever you my people are watching this from, you're doing alright and God has protected you and preserved you very well. And to you that continuously give support to me on here, I do appreciate you. And to my members, shout out to you guys. You do me amazing as well. And as always, we are back with another juicy, interesting one to look at. It looks like President Musk is trying to shoot himself in the foot because the moves he's having is really about to trigger American people real bad. But yeah, he's recently been going viral for his press whatever that he had in the Oval, and his son, who is believed to have said a lot of things that are unthinkable to Mr. Trump that was seated there. Lots of people are speculating that the kid told the president, "You are not the president and you need to go away." And lots of other people believe the child must have said, "Shush, your effing mouth" to the president. And of course, those clips have compiled all of them in here. We're going to look at those, and we will also look at the reactions of other Americans. And we will come back and talk about it. But if you're landing on the channel for your very first time, please do not forget to subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section about this very episode.
I wasn't even going to post on this, and then I saw some clips that changed my mind, and I'll show you those in a moment. But first, Elon Musk yesterday, along with his son, Little X, held a press conference in the Oval Office to discuss what Doge is doing, all while Donald Trump watched on silently from his cuck chair. And in the aftermath, one of Elon's fanboys shared this tweet that Elon reposted. It says, "History repeats itself," and it shows two images. The first image is a pretty iconic image of JFK Jr. playing underneath his dad's desk while he worked in the Oval Office. And the second is Little X seemingly bored out of his mind, crawling around on the floor while Donald Trump pontificates about what he liked watching from said cuck chair. But I can point out at least one glaring difference between these two situations. JFK Jr., as I recall, never had criticisms of his father while the press was there. Little X, on the other hand, has a lot to say, and there was a hot mic that caught some of it. So first is this little gem.
To restore democracy. This may seem like, well...
You heard that too, right? You're not the president, you need to go away. I'll play the clip a second time. Just you watch and tell me if that's what he said.
To restore democracy. This may seem like...
That's what he said, but I'll go one better. Because he also said this.
The prices from one year to the next are the same, and they're mortgaged.
That one's clear as day. He says, I want you to shut your fucking mouth up. And there's already people who are like, out of the mouth of babes. But let me just put this out there for your consideration. A child this young doesn't have this profound moment where he like tells off Trump. He just repeats things he's heard. So if he says you're not really the president, chances are someone has said that around him and he's repeating it. When he says, I want you to shut your fucking mouth up, he's either heard someone say that to someone else or someone has said that to him and he's repeating it. Either scenario is pretty disturbing. But perhaps the question we should be asking is the same one that Shea Jordan Smith asked on Twitter, which is, why the fuck is Elon Musk doing press briefings in the White House from the Oval Office? He is not an elected official. Why is he holding court in the Oval Office? Nothing about this is normal or good.
This is the exact moment in the Oval Office during a press conference that Elon Musk's son said to the current president of the United States, you are not the president, go away. You are not the president, go away. And there's also another clip where he told him to shut up or shut his mouth. I have a 4 and a 5-year-old. Elon Musk's son is 4 years old. At this age, children are like sponges and they behave like parrots. They repeat everything they hear and they always use it in the appropriate context. Toddlers are not stupid. They're actually extremely intelligent, but they do not make things up. That's another thing about children you need to understand. They are extremely honest. If that child heard that and repeated it in that context, he said it to the person who it was intended to. He said it to someone who he has heard it been said to. He behaved to that adult with that regard because that is what he has witnessed. At this age, all of the behaviors that a 4-year-old is doing is learned behavior. And people are saying like, oh, Elon needs to stop bringing his son around because his son is revealing his secrets. It's intentional. It is intentional. Because do you think the wealthiest man in America, a billionaire, someone who is making $8 million a day off the U.S. government, can't afford to have someone to the side watch his child while he finishes a press conference? He could have had any one of the aides in there just watch the baby so that he can say what he needs to say. But he wants it to be said. He wants it to be heard. He wants it to be heard. It's a show of force. It's a show of power. Like, I'm going to have my child punk you and you're not going to do or say anything. You're going to sit there and you're going to take it. And then we're all going to laugh it off. And then we know the little cult is going to come behind and be like, kids say the darndest things. Kids can only say things they have heard. And that child is constantly with Elon. He's constantly in these spaces. So, do y'all think he just made that up? Okay.
Whoever convinced Elon Musk to speak at that press conference today is trying to save America. Every day that he goes after these departments, every day that he is shutting down these agencies, it is getting harder and harder to justify it or explain how this is helping the country. In fact, none of you guys who voted for this administration have yet to be able to tell anyone what they are doing. You all say the same thing. You go, what are they afraid of him finding? You say this is all going to work out once he discovers where the wasteful spending is. And you really love leaning on that talking point of $50 million in condoms going to Gaza. But he literally just said verbatim in front of a camera in the Oval Office that some of the things that I say will be incorrect. He said that in direct response to a question about the $50 million in condoms going to Gaza being found to not be a true statement. The man has clearly said on camera he is not always going to give the right information, probably because he does not have it. I keep telling you guys, he is not looking to save the country any money. He spent more time talking about what federal workers make in the government. What did he talk about in terms of wasteful spending? He used a lot of buzzwords. He used a lot of those words that you guys love hearing in order to think that this administration is working in your favor, but he did not produce any evidence. And I'm telling you right now, whoever's idea it was to actually get him in front of a camera to start speaking is trying to get him thrown under the bus. This is out of the Donald Trump playbook, all right? He understands everybody is calling him President Musk. He also understands that Elon has never played this kind of game before. This is not like Joe Rogan, where he's gonna softball you questions in a controlled environment where you get to talk about the things you are actually knowledgeable of. This is the government, okay? It's not a business. You absolutely cannot run the government like a business, because when you do that, you start breaking the law. They are going to find a way to get rid of him. Anytime Donald Trump sees somebody in his orbit start to get extra spotlight, he gives them the rope to hang themselves. I've said this before, this breakup has been a long time in the making, but it is happening. They set him up with that press conference. They absolutely did. And I promise it's going to play a significant role in whatever brings him down in the future.
So President Musk's press conference in the Oval Office today with his sidekick, Vice President Trump, was interesting, where he openly admits that he lied, he is going to lie, and it's your responsibility to catch him in his lies.
Can you correct the statements? It wasn't sent to Hamas, actually. It was sent to Mozambique, which makes sense why condoms was sent there.
Yeah.
And how can we make sure that all the statements that you said were correct, so we can trust what you say?
Well, first of all,
Why do y'all keep calling this baby a human shield?
some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000. I mean,
I remember your co-president, second chair president, little president, that's what we can call you. I remember the little president saying that we need people who are fully 100% competent, top of the class IQ, so no mistakes can be made, especially from things that are erroneous, like lies or errors. And you just admitted that you're going to lie and you're going to make errors. Are you a DEI hire?
we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes. I'm not sure we should be sending $50 million worth of condoms to anywhere, frankly. I'm not sure that's something Americans would be really excited about. And that is really an enormous number of condoms, if you think about it.
And then the person lying to you doesn't care at all when they lie within the answer of why they lied. By the way, I am an American citizen right now who would support sending $50 million in condoms to countries where HIV can destroy their population, because providing tools for them to be able to have safe sex is going to encourage the practice, which will limit the spread of disease. It's just common sense, because the same programs happen here in the United States of America to help people, because the act of doing it is natural to everybody.
You say, what is the goal of Doge, and I think a significant part of the presidency is to restore democracy. This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy? Well, if you don't have a feedback loop, okay, X, we would have to, if you sorry. So, tell you, gravitas can be difficult sometimes. If there's not a good feedback loop from the people to the government, and if you have rule of the bureaucrat, or if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have? If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy, we live in a bureaucracy. So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback loop, we fix that feedback loop, and that the public's elected representatives, the president, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large, unelected bureaucracy. This is not to say that there are good people who are in the federal bureaucracy, but you can't have an autonomous federal bureaucracy. You have to have one that is responsive to the people. That's the whole point of a democracy. And if you looked at this, if you looked at the founders today and said, what do you think of the way things have turned out? Well, we have this unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative. And this is not something that people want, and it does not match the will of the people. So it's just something we've got to fix. And then we've also got to address the deficit. So we've got a $2 trillion deficit, and if we don't do something about this deficit, the country's going bankrupt. I mean, it's really astounding that the interest payments alone on the national debt exceed the Defense Department budget, which is shocking because we spend a lot of money on defense, and if that just keeps going, we're essentially going to bankrupt the country. So what I really want to say is, like, it's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses. It's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country. And it's essential for America to have the resources necessary to provide things to its citizens and not simply be servicing vast amounts of.
I'm sure you probably have already landed on these circulating clips, and you probably also have thoughts which I want to hear in the comment section, because for me, America is really becoming a laughing stock. I cannot believe that this great nation is becoming what it is becoming in front of everybody else. There's a scripture about Lucifer, and it was, describing how he fell. He was mighty, he was strong, he was, and then he was humbled. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. But from what is playing on our screens right now, that's what is like. Like, it seems like there's just a great fall to an extent that this country is becoming a laughing stock, to an extent that the Oval is not even respected anymore. I cannot imagine even the president of Uganda literally going to, the White House and calling a press conference, and then he has kids playing around, just moving here and there. And that is exactly the disrespect this migrant is bringing into the United States. And unfortunately, the Republicans are tolerating this because, according to them, he's about to expose the bad guys. And so many of them are asking, what is wrong with him exposing the bad guys? Well, he just said to you that at some point he may not say the truth, so he has to be fact-checked. And I hope that would be an eye-opener. That's if the people that we are talking about to be open to opening their eyes are even interested in that. The slumber and the sleep they are in is really too sweet for them to even wake up out of it. Because I think according to them, they're like, it's gonna take time. Well, I don't know, because this looks like steps of a downfall of an economy, of an empire. And one of the speakers in here said that it looks like whenever someone takes a spotlight, you know, in the administration, what Trump does is to, give them their own rope and they do that themselves. He doesn't do it, he just let them do it for themselves. I hope and pray that that is a true narrative, but which in some way, okay, it kind of, really brings a bit of truth, because you're realizing that now a lot of people are questioning this man and what is he doing in the Oval, what is he doing in the president's place, in the president's office. He's not an elected member, and maybe Trump, chose him, but the people in America do not agree with most of the things that he's doing. So you realize that a lot of people are actually suing him. Lots of Congress people are coming together with one voice, and they are saying, this is not right. And for the most part, one of the things that Elon is not doing is, for the Republicans that believe he's exposing the bad guys, he's not exposing himself and what he's doing to enrich himself the more. That man in South Africa was literally denied access to having control over so many things. And when he came to the US, yeah, you guys welcomed him with open arms, and you're letting him be even in position or in charge. And it's so ridiculous, because with the statements that are coming out of his mouth, lots of people are assuming, they have started allegedly saying that he might be a DEI. And I can agree with that, because what qualifies him to sit close to the president when this man literally reaps every day? He harvests like billions of dollars from taxpayers in the United States of America. He's literally getting richer and richer off the people. Now back to the child. There's a scripture in the Bible that goes like, train up a child in a way they should go, that even when they grow up, they will not depart from that way. So if the things that are believed to have come out of that kid's mouth are true, it is showing us what this child is being trained, the training that he's gotten, and the nurturing and the kind of parents that he has. If these things are even coming out of a 4-year-old, you can only imagine. In fact, Elon Musk's father, came out and is like, Elon has never been a good father. So, I mean, that's not something that we are shocked about. But why would you even bring a child in the Oval, like, for something that is so formal? The level of unprofessionalism and disrespect to the American public. And I'm not saying that kids are bad, but kids should have a limitation. A man that is that rich cannot have a nanny to stay with a child. His father was telling us that all his kids have been raised by nannies. So I'm wondering what was the essence of him bringing the child. Of course, lots of people are saying that, the child is a shield to him, but I just don't get how that happened. But, hearing those things triggers the African mother probably to be in the future, because and I know that we are, even Black Americans, we are more similar than we are different, because when it comes to raising kids, that child must have gotten a shush in behind his butt, and I dare you. You don't even speak. You're not even allowed to speak when, mature people are speaking. You're not even allowed to be present when big people are having conversations, and this little thing is, everywhere. Just, anywho, I thought that was very disrespectful. But I hope people are successful in suing him and getting him out, because this man is so comfortable doing the unthinkable. That's one of the things that really don't make sense. This man is so comfortable doing things that are not normal. And he gives excuses that are so lame. This man gave a Yazi salute, and so many Republicans came out to defend him. This man is doing too much and is too comfortable. We have to ask ourselves, what is protecting him? What is shielding him that big? What is that contract they entered in with the president of the US to let this be happening? But there are some things that I also noticed with the kid, and I really don't want to be going into spiritual whatever to explain this. But there's just something wrong. I don't know if you guys feel it. There's just something lingering in the air that is so heavy and is so abnormal. Even when you look at himself, Musk, even when you look at that kid, there's just something. But anyways, I don't know if I'm just overthinking it. You probably, if you feel the same way, let me know, so that at least I know I'm not, getting crazy, and I don't want to be crazy on here. But yeah, guys, what do you think? Yeah. And what is America gonna do to deal with such a person that comes on the media and he, very openly say, yeah, a lot of the time I'm not gonna say the truth, and people are still clapping? Put your thoughts in the comment section, and please subscribe to the channel if you have not. I will definitely see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Chrissy, and I love you all. Bye.